Okay, so we are doing incomplete records for IGCSE. The same is the basics for your AS as well. Okay. Someone tell me, how do I calculate profit? How
There
do you,
are two ways to calculate profit. Two ways.
what are two?
The first is to make a capital account, and the second way is to make an income statement.
Okay. That means you're saying that in your second way two, you should be given details about purchases and sales.
Yes, miss. No, no, no. We need to find the sales and the purchases using control accounts.
No, but I'm asking you ways to calculate profit. What am I
Yeah,
asking you? Ways to
ways to
calculate
calculate.
profit. If I'm asking you ways to calculate profit, how do you get profit? You tell me that. Don't.
Okay, so income statement and capital account.
Hmm?
Income statement and capital account.
Harris, how will you find profit with the help of income statement?
So to find profit,
Hmm.
you'll have to minus the gross profit by other expenses and add other income, then get it.
That
If
means
you want
first
to
you
do
need
it by
to have
income
your
statement.
sales minus
Yeah,
cost of sales. You have gross
yeah.
profit, add other income minus other expenses, you will get profit. This is one
Mm,
way to calculate profit. Are you with me?
yeah. The
Yes, miss.
other way is capital, right?
That means to find out profit, you should have information about sales and purchases. Yes or no?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, miss.
If information about sales and purchase is not given, then how will you find out profit?
Control accounts. Make control account.
Control accounts is made to find purchases and sales. Income
Yeah.
statement done over. I don't have purchases and sales information. Then how will I find out profit?
Then capital account.
Capital account. Do you know the format of capital account?
Yeah.
What is it?
On the credit side, we have opening balance, so balance begin down.
Hmm.
Then additional capital, interest on capital, profit, and on the debit side, we have drawings, interest on drawings, loss, and closing capital.
What am I interested to find out?
Profit.
Profit. So, Fatima, can you summarize for me two ways to find out profit?
Income statement and capital. You make an income statement to find profit, but if you don't have purchases and sales information, you make a capital account.
Okay, Haris, can you tell me if I am making a capital account to find out profit for the year? I need some things very clearly. What are those things?
You need the opening capital, the drawings, the additional capital, and the closing capital.
But something which I definitely need. If there is no additional capital, no drawings.
If there's no additional capital and drawings, then closing capital.
So, you some things that you definitely need is the opening capital and closing capital.
Yeah.
So, the examiner has an option. He can give you this opening capital directly. He can give you this closing capital directly. Yes. If this is
Yeah.
not available directly to us, then what will we do?
Statement of affairs. Will make a statement of affairs.
If it is not available directly to us, then you will find it. Okay? How will you find it? You will find it by preparing the statement of affairs. What is a statement of affairs? A statement of affairs is something that is equivalent to the statement of your financial position. Can you give me the format of statement of financial position?
Non-current assets plus current assets gives you total assets. Then comes capital and liabilities, which include owner's equity, then non-current liability, and then current liability, which gives you the total capital and liability.
Okay, fine. So, Haris, I want you to answer this question. When closing and opening capital is not given to you directly, what will you do?
To find closing capital, you'll add opening capital plus net profit minus drawings, and you'll get the closing capital.
Capital can only be found out. Capital can only be found out by preparing a statement of affairs. Please understand this. A statement of affairs is nothing but it is like your statement of financial position. I'm repeating again. Capital can only be found out by preparing a statement of affairs, and a statement of affairs is nothing but your statement of financial position, which looks something like this. You have your non-current assets, you have current assets, and here what you get?
Total assets.
Assets. Here you have your total liability, NCL, CL, and this is capital. If you prepare this statement of affairs, or I would say statement of financial position on the first date, what will you get?
Opening capital.
You will get your opening capital. If you prepare this on the last date, what will you get?
Closing capital.
Closing capital. Remember, statement of financial position is used for our normal business. But in the incomplete records, a statement of financial position is nothing but your statement of affairs. What is it called?
Statement of affairs.
Statement of affairs. So now you have this question over here right there in front of you. You have to calculate, you have to make your opening statement of affairs. I'm giving you 2 minutes time. You can try, figure out, and make your opening statement of affairs. Your question, which is also there in your volume 2, you have to prepare your opening statement of affairs. Now, there is two mistakes in this question. This is 31st March 2021 and this is 31st March 2022. Can you tell me opening statement of affairs will be on which date?
On first date,
Hmm?
the first date,
What is the first date over here?
31st March 2020.
Hmm?
31st March 2021.
31st March 2021. Mahat, please allow others also to answer.
Okay.
Closing statement of affairs will be on which date?
31st March.
2022.
Okay, fine. Now, when you're making your opening statement of affairs or your closing statement of affairs, can you tell me what happens?
When you're making your opening and closing, you find your capital, right?
So how will you do? What markings will you do?
So you're gonna
You
just
write
gonna
as
add all of the assets and liabilities. That's it.
Okay, vehicles at cost is what?
Vehicle at cost is non-current
NC.
asset.
Assets. So you'll write it in the asset side.
Yeah.
Just we want to find out the opening capital, so we will directly adjust this. Vehicles minus depreciation. Can we do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you do that?
Yes, miss.
Similarly, for land, what will we do? We'll write it directly on the debit side or on the asset side. Are you with me?
Yeah.
For premises, again, we will write it on the asset side, premises minus depreciation. Is trade receivable an asset or a liability?
It's a current asset.
It's an asset, so I will write it on the asset side. What is my target to find out?
Closing capital.
No, opening statement of affairs, right?
Yeah, opening capital.
So my target is to find out what? My target is to find out the opening capital. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Trade payables will be asset or liability?
Trade payable liability.
Outstanding salary, asset or liability?
Liability.
Advance wages, asset or liability?
Asset.
Asset.
Inventories, asset or liabilities?
Inventory asset. Current asset.
Inventory,
Is current asset.
inventory assets, current assets. Bank, asset or liability?
Asset.
Bank is an asset. Okay, so I have to prepare the opening statement of affairs to find out the opening capital. It would be on the 31st of March 2021. Please do it. We have got the opening statement of affairs, right? 63,800. Yes or no? Fatima, you've got the opening statement of affairs or no?
Yes, I got it.
Okay, now you go
30,
have to find
63.
the closing statement of affairs. Closing statement of affairs will be on what date?
31st March 2022.
You have to find out the closing statement of affairs on 31st March 2022. How do you find the closing statement of affairs? Assets minus liabilities. How will you find
Oh,
your closing statement of affairs? The way you find out your opening statement of affairs, the same way you find out your closing statement of affairs. It will be assets minus liabilities. We've already done the markings for assets. So assets minus liabilities would give you your capital balance on the last date, that is 31st March 2022.
mm,
And you will find your closing statement of affairs. Come on, make it. Fatima, are you with me?
yes, miss.
Okay, fine. And Haris, you're also with me. Can you tell me from the opening statement of affairs, we got opening capital how much?
66,800.
63,800.
63,800. And when we prepared the closing statement of affairs, we got the closing capital as how much?
74,350.
We got the closing capital as a balancing figure as 74,350. Are you with me?
Yeah, miss, I got the loss.
Okay, fine. Now we have to find the statement of, you have to find the profit for the year. Come on, I have told you that there are two ways to find out profit for the year. Either I can prepare an income statement where I can use details about purchases and sales and find out profit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or capital account.
Or I can make a capital account to find the profit for the year. So if I make a capital account to find out the profit for the year, can you tell me where will I write my opening capital?
On the credit side.
On the credit side, lovely. So my opening capital will come on the credit side. Can you tell me where will I write my closing capital?
Debit side.
I will write my closing capital on the debit side. That is how much? 74,350. Now let's take some adjustments that is given to us. Goods taken home for domestic use 1,000. So you have goods for own use 1,000. Can you tell me where will this go?
Drawings. So debit side.
This is called nothing but your drawings. So your drawings will be on the debit side. How much?
1,000.
Now over here. Interest on capital is 6%.
Yeah, so interest on capital will come on credit side.
On the
Credit side.
credit side. How much percent?
6%.
So how much does it come up to? 63,000,
4,461.
4,461. Now, can you read this and tell me what will be the impact of this? What is this actually? This is a thinking question.
Yeah, so trade receivables. So yeah, just 400 bad debts. So we have
Was
other
this new
expense of
bad
400.
debts? Was this new bad debts?
Yeah, I think so.
Fatima, was this new bad debts? $400 is new bad debts. And RBDD, reserve for bad and doubtful debts, is 1%. So this is RBDD 1%. Tell me, minus new bad debts minus new RBDD is done where?
As in,
You've learned the format of your balance sheet, your statement of financial position. Am I correct?
yeah.
Can you give me 5 current assets?
Oh, so Miss, you're asking how we calculate net trade receivables and put it in the
Yes,
SOF.
exactly. So when I am making my closing capital, I do not do it blindly. I need to see the adjustments if there are some adjustments that has to be affected. So from your trade receivables, you have to subtract your new bad debts. You have to subtract your new RBDD. So 1600 was your trade receivables. Minus 400 is your bad debts. So it comes up to how much? 1200. Minus 1% is your RBDD. So your RBDD will become how much?
12.
12. Can you give me your NTR, net trade receivables?
1,180.
1118. So when you did your closing capital,
Miss 88.
sorry,
88.
1100.
180.
So when you did your closing capital, you will not write trade receivables as 1600. You will write it as how much? 1000.
188.
1188, and this will change your capital. I did not correct it to you before because I wanted you to realize that reading the adjustments is very, very, very important. Because one adjustment you don't read, okay? You don't read one adjustment, you don't give the effect of that adjustment. This will give you wrong capital and then wrong profit. Are you with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So can you correct and give me the closing capital first? The total of your assets, 24,000 plus 25,000 plus 15,000 plus 1188 plus 150 plus 5,000 plus 6,500.
You get 76,838 plus 300. And
76,000.
then, yeah, miss, it's
Let's
73,938.
76,838.
No, miss. 73,938.
76,838. Now minus 2,600. You'll have calculator, na?
Yeah, I can.
So your closing capital will be 73,938. 73,938. Closing capital 73,938. So can you find your profit for the year as the balancing figure?
Yeah.
So it becomes 74,938. 74,938.
So Miss, the loss will be 77,300.
I don't understand from where are you getting loss?
Whereas we subtract the credit side with the debit side.
63,800.
With it's a profit of 66,077.
How?
No, 6,677. My bad.
6,000?
677.
6,677. So you had your opening capital here, you had your closing capital here, you had your drawings here. You added both of this, you came at this figure, this, and you write it at both the places. From this, you will subtract your opening capital, you will subtract your interest on capital, and you will get profit as your balancing figure. Are you with me?
Right.
Magna, we want to make the opening statement of affairs and we are going to make the opening statement of affairs. Can you see my screen?
Yes, miss.
Which one?
The PPT.
The PPT. Where what's written over there? Can you tell me what I'm writing now? We're doing the second sum. This is we have to find the opening capital and closing capital for 31st March 2020 and 2021 for Mrs. Kaya. Are you with me?
Mm.
Don't tell me where will we write land. Equipment. How will I write equipment? Can you give me the totals, please?
68,000. I mean 68100.
Then I have what?
Inventory.
500. I have trade receivables. 1,500. Trade payables. 800. And I have cash bank 500. I will get my opening capital as balancing figure. How much? This would be on 31st March 2021. Can you give me the amount? So the total is 10,300. 10,300 I will write on both the sides. And opening capital will be the balancing figure, that is 9,500. Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
Let's go to the closing statement of affairs. Closing statement of affairs will be on what date? Please answer.
31st March
Both of
2021.
you also answer. 31st March 2021.
Yeah.
Before I go for my closing statement of affairs, I will read my adjustment. What is the adjustment for?
RBDD at 2%. Mr. Sam is declared bankrupt for 300.
Haris, what will I do for this adjustment? Can you please tell me?
So we're gonna minus 300 by the trade receivables and times that by 2% and then minus it.
Then
So you
minus
get
1,700 into 2%. Yeah.
then you get 1,666.
What is 2% of 1,700?
34.
34.
Yeah.
What is your net trade receivable?
1,666.
1,666.
6. Yeah.
Lovely. Okay. Now, what will you write in your this land will be 1,000. Equipment will be how much? Equipment will be how much?
7,500.
Then inventory. Trade receivable.
Trade receivable 1,666
Trade payables.
is going to be 1,100.
And cash in bank. If it's a credit balance, what does that mean?
Means it's a overdraft liability, so you put it on the credit side, debit side. Sorry.
Credit side.
Okay.
What is your total assets? Please give me the total assets. For the
11,066.
yes, 11,000
66. Yeah.
and the capital, closing capital.
Addition.
Eight six six
Sorry,
8,666.
are you all getting the same amount? Are you all getting the same amount?
Just 1 minute.
So it is 11,066, right? 066 minus 2,400. 8,000
Miss, as well as the 700,
with 700.
the additional capital.
Why will you do it over here?
Additional capital will be in the closing one.
It will come in the capital account. Your opening capital is how much? How much is your opening capital?
Opening
9,500. 9,500 is your opening capital. Your closing capital is 8,666. Your drawings is not there. And your additional capital. Your additional capital is how much?
700.
There's no additional capital. Okay, yeah. Goods introduced by the owner. 700. So there is no profit. In fact, there is a loss for the year. So it's how much? How much is your loss? 10,200. So your loss for the year is 1,534.
Miss, why don't we put the 700 by the additional capital in
In
statement of
your
affairs?
capital account, with the help of your capital account, if you're going to find your profit, you have the structure. Opening capital, closing capital, additional capital, drawings, profit, loss, interest on capital. You have your fixed places. Opening capital here, closing capital here, additional capital here, drawings here.
Yeah,
So why you want to mess up over here?
but in statement of financial position,
If
don't
you
we
put
have?
over here, if you put over here, you will not get it over here.
Yeah,
Okay. So when you're making your statement of profit, additional capital drawings. Otherwise, you could have adjusted drawings also over here on top. Because drawing is
yeah,
ideally shown as a deduction from capital, right?
yeah.
Are you with me? So what will we do is that additional capital, drawings, everything we adjust in the capital account to find out our profit or loss for the year.
So basically, the capital.
Calculate the opening capital on 1st Jan to 2012 opening statement of affairs. Now, if you see this very properly, you have two columns. Are you with me? Are you with me?
Yes, miss.
So what will you do? If I have two columns, my purpose is to find what?
Opening and closing.
My purpose is to find opening capital on the 1st of January 2012. So I will write all the debit minus the credit. Or I can make it like a trial balance. I can write whatever is the here. Vehicles will be on which side? Debit side. So I can make one column debit, one column credit, and my purpose is to find what? Capital. Capital will come on the credit side as your balancing figure. And total of debit is always equal to your total of credit. Come on, try it, then I'll help you out. Please switch on your videos.
Yeah.
Come on, vehicles is 16,000 debit, fixtures 4,000 debit. I hope you are with me.
Yes, miss.
Everybody on the same page. Can you tell me inventory 9,200 debit,
Debit.
6,500, other
Debit.
bills, prepaid insurance 200 debit, payables 9,100 credit, bank overdraft credit and bank loan credit. I will get capital as balancing figure. Can you give
Yeah.
total of your debit?
35,900.
35,900. Okay, 35,700 it should be, na?
Let me check one more time.
Yeah, sorry, 35,900.
Okay.
35,900. So what is your capital?
16,380.
Yeah.
16,000?
380.
Okay, fine.
80.
380.
Yeah.
Come on, Virat. How will you calculate Virat's capital? All debit minus all credit. So premises is 58,500. Fixtures is 9,400. Inventory 9,700. Trade payables 7,100. Trade receivables 8,120. Loan is 15,000. And bank overdraft is 5,300. Your capital will be your balancing figure. Come on, tell me, what is the total of the debit side?
Eight 5720.
85,720. From that, when you minus your credit side, what will you get as capital? Please,
58320.
sorry,
58320.
58,320. So with this, we basically complete what? Your preparation of statement of affairs, which is as good as your statement of financial position, and finding out profit in the absence of purchases and sales. Okay?